a ton after, but it still was in their repertoire. So I don't know. I expect the Abathur ban. If it's got to be first ban because there's no way it makes it to second.
Here we go for the draft of what may be the final game in this first series of HGC North America today. Coming up next, we have a doozy of a series, but for me, it's all about the Akaface drafting. We see them step back to something more normal within the normal confines of the meta, like what they played on Cursed Hollow with the Greymane Li Ming, having the double reset of go for the throat with Li Ming's critical mass, or do we step outside? I do want to say that was one of the fastest map choices and decisions after a loss I've probably ever seen. So that almost makes me think that something's up the sleeves of No Tomorrow.
Wish I knew.
What are you seeing there?
Not a lot.
If you just started pulling out like a really long scarf, I would have lost it. We have a magician on set.
Yeah, I mean, I apparently can make people appear
behind invisible curtains. There you
go. It's sad but true. About the Abathur, not the magician.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll ever find my pen.
I heard it fall a long way. Like I heard it, then I heard it take another tumble. So
the desk has claimed another victim. I found this one though. This one's pretty good.
That's my favorite part. Is what you guys didn't see was her literally crawling under the desk looking for her pen. It's like, oh, I found a different one instead.
Look, notes are important. It's the notebook.
Again, Hanzo, I think, has to be considered. If you want to take away the potential global threat, if you've got some tricks up your sleeve, you would look towards something like a Dahaka ban.
I guess Yoda was playing a lot of Dahaka, but now I don't know if Nasmus even is prioritizing him the way as Blaze plays. It's good. All right, they do.
I think it's, again, if there is a trick up your sleeve and you want to be able to force rotations, you want to rotate, you want to do things differently on this battleground, you have to ban the Dahaka. You do give up the Hanzo.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So, again, we're still anticipating. It's not guaranteed. No Tomorrow could go back to play more of the traditional meta, but the way this has started out does lead me to think maybe. And they come out with just task tracing.
Do you think it's the... Do you think there's any world where it's Vikings?
No, I don't think they have the Vikings player on their team. Obviously, that was kind of Jason, who's no longer with the roster.
Jay Schritte used to be one of his favorites, but that was years ago, like when they came out.
Yeah, that's a long time
It's been
ago.
a while.
Genji is available.
Yes, that's true. Somehow, there you go. I hope this is a Casanova Genji, because I feel like it suits his playstyle a lot more than some of the other things we've seen, like the Chromie.
I think if I'm No Tomorrow, one of the things that you have to consider at this point is it's highly likely with this composition they want to pair it with an Uther. They're unlikely, I think, to be getting that post-second ban. I think that will be something Team Freedom targets. So it's a matter of this strategy looks good to start, but I think they're going to need a lot more. And you can still play around the stage dive. You can still dive into the backline. For Team Freedom, one of the answers that we've seen, they're actually just going to take the Uther themselves. In case somebody does die, you also have the bunker potential. So Uther taken away, that's a power move right there.
It is. Not only does it take the Divine Shield away from Genji, the invulnerability there, it gives it to Team Freedom, and that plus bunker is a ton of survivability. Not to mention, Hammer of the Lightbringer build has been what we have seen from Uthers, which makes Genji's life a whole lot trickier to go into a fight.
That's a major power play for Team Freedom.
It was.
And they did have the opportunity to pick it up for themselves to counter that, like with the build that you're talking about. So now for No Tomorrow, where's your support come in? Do we just get a Karazim out of Akaface? You know, we've seen some Lucio in the past, some Karazim. Akaface was the one that actually ran the Insight build for Karazim at one point this year. So again, we expect innovative drafts, potentially innovative building into those talent tiers. So, and it did work out for him when he went Insight before, just so everybody has that in context. I believe he did it twice and was 1-1 in that build. They're taking away all the globals.
Still taking globals away. Falstad's one of those heroes that you would consider when you're talking about Vikings hunters. Just saying. Genji is too. Zeratul is a really scary one.
But Zeratul would not pair well with, I mean, I guess you could go solo damage dealer Hanzo. He's one of the few ones that I think you could still reasonably go with.
Yeah. Greymane would be another killer.
Greymane Hanzo for ultimate camp control and boss control on this map.
Who cares about the Vikings? You just have all the camps.
Like, that's nice that you're controlling the map, but what if we just have something pushing in every lane and then we control the bosses? I mean, a Worgen Greymane and a Hanzo on a boss. I mean, how fast does the thing die?
Pretty fast. Are Freedom scared of anything? Is this the fear they take? All right, so they want to have the camp control by having Hanzo, by negating a Greymane.
If it's going to get weird, it's going to get weird right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you want to just like, oh, I think this could work. I think this could work. You're just like, kind of just want to see it unfold because after what we've seen, it's rather unpredictable.
This is a place where previously seeing that high of an Uther is punishable by something like Lunara, Poison Picks. Poison pairs well with Genji because he's an assassin. He can be the person that secures those kills.
You set him up, I knock him down. Lunara, we haven't seen Lunara yet since we've been back.
We haven't.
I don't even think we've seen her in EU, at least in the games that I've watched, which is probably like 90% of them so far.
No, Tempo played her and Heroes Hearth both played her a little bit at the mid-season brawl, differing styles.
Yeah.
There's other poison heroes too, though.
Cool, Dan.
Double reset. And they get Tyrael to set it up. I feel like this is going to be a Lucio last pick.
I'm with you on that one. That is super aggressive. It's just a matter of execution. And again, if there's a matter of control in camps and things like that, and you're spending time clearing waves, Tyrael, subpar wave clear, ETC, subpar wave clear, even at level 7, still subpar. Genji, subpar, Li Ming as much damage as she does. It's some proper angles, and they're not always perfect, subpar wave clear. Your support's not going to help that option, so it is a high execution comp in the sense that you need to kill people, and you have to do it frequently because you're not going to win the map race at all.
Is there any support that might help with that better? You know, I know wave clear wise, Rhaegar is not in the same place as when he had Lightning Bond, but maybe could try to help with that somewhat.
It's one of the few. It's one of the few at this point.
She's back.
Why is it always with an Uther?
This time it's not even versus a Tracer.
Well, we said, oh, they're targeting the globals. Well, they forgot about one, Gilly. Brightwing's got a global.
Slip through their fingers.
Yes.
Okay. Emerald Wind does give some boss control and try to throw away once the double resets come in. Polymorph when Tyrael wants to drop down his sanctification.
Denial. That is a denial. Akaface, Brightwing, and the old Genji bomb that we haven't seen in a while.
Bombs. I don't think it was going to be that.
I 100% now am on the I'm still not sure train. See what I did there? Yeah.
That's a train I could hop aboard, buy a ticket for.
Brightwing looking for friends. I do kind of wonder if that might have been a pick for No Tomorrow. Akaface, for those that aren't familiar with Akaface's history, has probably played more Brightwing than just about anybody, even during the off-meta days. And then, you know, as of last year, we had the Genji. Whenever he would get prepared to Swift Strike in, you would queue up your global, phase shift in, and then right as the Swift Strike ended, you would come down, and then you would push them all apart with Emerald Wind.
What a world we live in, where Malfurion is last pick. What a world. It could have been. It feels weird to see Akaface last pick of Malfurion, so maybe it was that. But for Team Freedom, seeing now this Uther Brightwing gives you the spell armor, and you get the Peekaboo, which gives you the double. And this is a Swift Strike, it's a reset, it's a Li Ming composition that needs to be able to get those resets. Double support ideally is going to help, especially with the strong front line that Freedom have too, never giving you any of those resets.
We kept saying, boy, it's going to get weird. It's going to get weird on the side of No Tomorrow. Things are going to look weird. And Freedom's like, hold on. What if we take that approach to it? So, hey, look, it's not out of the ordinary. We've seen this composition before, generally on something like Towers of Doom. I think we even had it on another battleground, but we're getting it on Cursed Hollow. The Global's going to be there. So you have the Global, not the best wave clear on Brightwing side, but as you said, a lot of utility with this, with that spell armor, with the control, with that supplemental heals, those AoE heals that Uther's going to lack. So there is some control. And I said maybe they go into the Zeratul because you can rely on the solo Hanzo damage. Instead, they just double up on support, and they're going to play the same way.
Also gives you another interrupt for possible mosh pits. So all around, a lot more utility added now with this Brightwing. As we go into Game 4 between No Tomorrow and Team Freedom, let's see if it is indeed fight time.
I want an accurate fight time.
Fight time!
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
I do love my Brightwing. We saw a Blink heal last time. That was versus Thrall with the Earthquake, though Emerald Wind, of course, can throw people away. If she gets stuck in that, trying to get out can be scary, especially if you've had to use your Pixie Dust and the movement speed isn't there for you. So here, I'm wondering if we get more of the Emerald Wind because the boss control that it provides.
It seems that could be the choice. It also, gives you more AoE healing on your pulse. So definitely, I think that does help in those sustain fights, but it seems like sustain won't be the name of the game for No Tomorrow. So stage dive into the potential dive in from Tyrael and such. It's going to be very difficult to pull off, but if they pull it off, man, is it going to look good.
Just wondering if there's any world for a, oh no, not with Tomster playing ETC. Any world for a Sanctification Mosh for those double resets.
They're going to need every bit of global control that they can possibly get.
That's fair.
One of my favorite things at BlizzCon this past year, Collusion was on one of his accounts. I think it was like his tournament account. So he's playing Hero League early morning. I mean, before scrims, he's there super early practicing. And he's on Brightwing. And he's just like running around. And he's leveling up, obviously, on that account. He was working his way up. And it was just such a treat to just sit him, watch around on Brightwing, just toying with people just a little bit. So good. And seeing that level of dedication that early in the morning, I think it was like 7 or 8 in the morning, he's just up. He's like, I'm practicing team sleep, and I think one other person was there. Just playing some Brightwing, no big deal.
That's when, really, Brightwing was last in the meta. When double support existed, Brightwing, with the utility that she gives, was one of the favored second supports to have. And Team Freedom has been at the forefront of trying to bring that back into the meta here in North America. As we see teams start to work on camps. No Tomorrow gets their Giants first, whereas Team Freedom with the early Bruisers signifies that they might be trying to get some structure damage done in the mid lane with those.
And let's address a few things with that, is that they were able to afford themselves the opportunity to bring Blaze down because Tyrael's wave clear is not good. And so that allows Blaze to come down for a little added protection if they need it. And now again, wave clear on the side of No Tomorrow is not necessarily there. So now they have to commit multiple people here to the mid lane just to defend this. And even then, they're not going to. If things get crazy, then Brightwing shifts in. It's the global on the side of No Tomorrow, not here yet. So a lot of opportunities just due to wave clear here on the side of Team Freedom.
But the aggression of No Tomorrow and bringing Tyrael down initially, let them take out or do a lot of damage to that spell armor giving aura wizard. And the amount of damage they didn't let Team Freedom do too much with those. Now Freedom having to rotate out and see if they can get more done. And as we talk about Siege, double warrior, double support, Hanzo is not screaming a lot of Siege there, so they're kind of in the same boat, but still, the response from No Tomorrow, good to keep this game even as we get ready for the first tribute.
No Tomorrow, seeing if somebody would pass through there. The minute that Siege camp pinged, they knew that they couldn't. Brightwing doesn't have crazy clear, but of course that global is the name of the game. With that Siege camp pushing in the bot lane, Brightwing can just stay there and do whatever she wants. I mean, it's not a huge burden to have wave clears. We see a little bit of aggression coming out here from Shrike. Hammer's going to be dropped down. We see the interrupt one more time from Blaze, see if they can get in there and get another one.
Yeah, the timing of this camp has been so phenomenal for Team Freedom now as they continue to try to delay. Finally, Nasmus is stopped from being able to delay again, but these Giants are just about to get in position to start doing some damage to these towers, as well as collusion with the Arcane Flares.
Well, the experience advantage from the global and the rotational control due to that wave clear is already having an impact. When you look at the top and you look at the experience, level 7 right on the horizon, about a third of a level lead, almost a half a level lead at this point in the game, but that will continue to mount if this keeps up the same pace, just due to the global, just due to the wave clear, just due to the rotational control to get some structure damage in.
Right.
If No Tomorrow finds themselves down, do they get desperate in team fights again? And that's the hardest part. This is very different compositionally than the Nazebo Probius, so you have better opportunities, but it's tough.
If this, after this tribute too, we're going to be looking at bosses possibly too, and now that Never Outmatched has come into play for Hanzo, this might be something that if they can win this fight, they can start working on. We're going to see the phase shift to give that phase shield to Zugrug. We're going to have a full fight, Jayhound.
Collusion's like, wait a minute, you left me. Phase shifting in right as that happened, but Shrite taking quite a bit of damage. Akbase doing his job, cleaning and keeping everybody alive. Nice swift strike in on Lutana, but they turn their attention back towards Blaze. Double support not enough to keep this team alive, and this should be tribute number 2 going over to No Tomorrow.
Was not expecting that, but the early phase shift gave the phase shield, and then the tanks got sort of separated. You can see that Nasmus has been wanting to be the delayer on these tributes, but with the separation there, you want to have the team as close together as possible when you have that double support, especially with a Brightwing to get the sustained heals, because that's what she's supposed to cover. That is the weakness for Uther.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Brightwing pick. It feels like it wasn't necessary. We've seen, you know, Brightwing picks to specifically counter the Tracer like we saw against Crowan last week. We're seeing it again here. There's something about this double support that Team Freedom believes in, and we're still waiting for that magical moment to be like, this is where it clicks. This is the reason we're picking it. I mean, yes, they're getting a little bit of global control, as I was mentioning a moment ago, but overall, 2 tributes to 0. And how is this going to hold up in team fights? Because we haven't seen the major team fights post level 10, as we'll be getting there soon.
All right, she's just not the same kind of global threat as a Dahaka or a Falstad, but she's still been able to give Freedom the edge despite losing that 1 kill over the tribute, so that they're almost at heroic abilities. Clear out the Giants, get a little bit more soak, and start to get this tribute. We're going to see an orb come over the wall, but No Tomorrow are positioned very safely. They have not brought Tyrael up at all. They know that they're going to have to eventually give this up, very likely to have to give this up, unless they can slowly poke this out until they can get 10. They've actually done really well.
Agility out. You know, there was a moment of hesitation from Yoda. And I'm like, is he gonna go Divine Storm? The answer is no. Divine Shield, of course, to save the target. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a lot in the realm of stage dive. And we've seen a lot of X-Strike as of late. It's one of those things you can use to dodge something like an Emerald Wind. This rotation up, they have to anticipate this boss, and you can see the rotation up already, leaving ETC, but with a Hanzo, it is Race City. And I don't think they're gonna get here. There's gonna be stage dive, but the stun instantly is gonna meet him. Shrite does go X-Strike, and the timing on that was a little rough.
Yeah, X-Strike through what we saw with the Emerald Wind, Dragon Blade, or Dragon Arrow with the stun. Zugrug turns around, delivers another one to give yet another kill as that Scatter Arrow wrecks ETC. Triple kill for Team Freedom around that boss. It was very fast rotation to the boss. That's what we expected with that Hanzo. He threw out just a few Scatter Arrows, has it down. Early shift in from Brightwing, but especially the cleanse from Yoda. So Brightwing gets on the point, Emerald Wind's out, and we saw the force of the X-Strike, which just, for No Tomorrow, dropping that down on the boss is not how they wanted things to go, and this is not how they want things to go.
It's going from bad to worse here for No Tomorrow, and Hanzo again, Gilly, just changes the timing of this entire game. The fact that Hanzo races so significantly well made it difficult. That timing from No Tomorrow was a split second late. If that's a As Genji trying to swift strike out. If that's not a Hanzo composition, maybe the timing's a little bit better. Tomster eating a lot of damage, eating a lot of CC. No burst healing on the side of No Tomorrow. The deaths are starting to stagger for No Tomorrow as one after another after another. Casanova getting a little bit of shielding there from Jen, but with one fort down, another likely to fall. Curse point on the horizon, as is 13, and a talent tier advantage for Team Freedom.
And that is a very nice place to be on Cursed Hollow. That's one of those where you say, that's our game to lose. Boss takes out one fort. There's only one fort remaining even prior to this curse. The good news for No Tomorrow, they have 2 tributes of their own, but what the main problem is if Team Freedom plays their cards right, then they could potentially make it so that No Tomorrow never actually get the curse from that. Stage dive behind Team Freedom.
Divine Shield's going to be used. A couple of things whiff there, including Dragon's Arrow, but the surviving is there, and this team is super split. Is No Tomorrow. They're trying to collapse from all fronts, but finding a priority target's been tough, but it looks like they might have found one. X-Strike is going to come down. Sanctification is going to be there. Collusion somehow walks away, gets over into the bunker. Twilight Dream does hit, but several members of Team Freedom walk away healthy with this double support.
That was one of the most chaotic fights I have ever seen, but Collusion now starting the channel as No Tomorrow bail out. All 5 of their team still exist to try to defend versus this, but Team Freedom have their 13 knockbacks, so Collusion's less far up where that phase shift comes in. No Tomorrow's still going to try to fight this out. They want to keep this keep alive if they can. Great power slide from Tomster. That was an epic power slide, but the Emerald Wind separates out No Tomorrow.
They've got to find a kill at some point. Nasm so low, keeping himself alive for the moment. Finally do get the takedown. Swift Strike, I don't think got the reset there. Casanova trying to make plays. Akaphase, you can see the heals over time, but they still don't have the burst healing. They also have other lanes to consider. They are protecting this lane. That top lane starting to have minions push in, and I think they recognize that. They got to concede one area or another. They're actually going to send ETC up, who does have his global. Here it comes.
Stage dive hit. Collusion decided to ice block from that. Dragon's Arrow just to keep No Tomorrow from being able to get on the rest of Freedom. And yes, No Tomorrow keep their keep in the bottom lane. This top one is going to sustain some damage before they can get in and clear out these minions.
They desperately need to take these down. Again, the boss rotations are always going to be super important. That early boss that we saw from Team Freedom, there's a minute and 10 seconds left, Gilly, before that next one, and that boss can take down the keep. And we got to give credit there. No Tomorrow held on surprisingly well. That bot lane was already opened up by that boss, the double boss that Team Freedom managed.
Man, I have to go back and watch part of that, or watch that, but part of it was when Blaze went down, I looked at the cooldown of Bunker, and it was something like, I think, 8-ish seconds or somewhere around there. So this cooldown nerf has been significant for Blaze players. Losing him there, Team Freedom still felt like they could fight because they have the double supporting, and that allows them to stay around longer, but respectfully backing off when they did. They knew top had done a lot, and with their experience lead that they still have, they can try to work their way up to 16 in time for that next boss rotation.
I love the fact that they picked up that siege camp and they're trying to play around that. Keeping ETC down there will definitely buy them a little bit of time, but still waiting on the next tribute. The bright spot for No Tomorrow is they are 1 tribute away from getting a curse of their own, potentially turning this game around, but the meetup here in the middle is happening. The global at top on the minimap for Brightwing, global at the bottom for No Tomorrow in forms of ETC. The rest of the members on both teams got the standoff here in the middle. They're going to walk away 16, rounding the corner here for Team Freedom.
Now the difference from the last boss rotation is that No Tomorrow have Holy Ground for their Tyrael, and the lanes were pushed out from that curse long enough that Freedom don't quite have 16 yet. But it's close enough, and No Tomorrow haven't made it up to that boss that this is going to be an issue. They may be able to slow it down and then rotate down so that they get their own. How long until that bottom boss? 45 seconds. There's going to be a tribute that complicates things, though.
Rockface under pressure instantly. Ice Block's going to buy a little bit of time. Sanctification's going to keep him alive a little bit longer.
Oh, he Twilight Dreams, hoping to catch people as they come out of the bunker, but it wasn't quite there. The Divine Shield keeps Lutano safe as he chases down and executes on ETC.
There's going to be another stun follow-up, and Lutano at this point is cleaning house, all led by Zugrug there as he continues to dive in on Muradin. Now the rotation over for the boss is definitely a thing. They'll be able to clean up the Siege Giant camp, trying to deny that curse. Jen, another staggered death, Gilly, is not what you want. We'll see if Jen can make the escape. Does have Eldruins, which can buy a little bit of time.
Well, he's trying to draw Nasmus away, but other people are cycling around the side. Doesn't decide to take that route. Speeds himself through again. This is the point he needs to stay alive if he is not gonna die, because this is, everyone else is back up.
He's just about out of mana. If he staggers to death here, it is extremely detrimental. He manages to survive, but this boss, Gilly.
Yeah, the whole time. There was one chasing Tyrael, yes, but the rest were looking at the boss, and that boss in the top lane where Freedom didn't siege, but the minions did enough of that for them during the curse. Now Team Freedom trying to get in here and get some kills before the fight can happen behind the boss for No Tomorrow. Let's see if No Tomorrow can hold.
Jay Shrite diving in deep. Here comes the dive itself in the form of stage dive. Emerald Wind is going to keep him at bay. Casanova, the first to die. Lutano doing work. Malfurion dies on the backside of this, and now for Team Freedom, this might just be the victory march. Gilly no longer just looking to get map control, but looking to take this series victory.
Map control, game control, series control. It's all about it for Team Freedom. They did lose the one game to No Tomorrow, but otherwise looking good to finish off and close out this series.
Sugrug has been playing out of his mind this game, though. The amount of stuns that he's managed at key moments to set up so many of these kills, terrifying.
GG's. Team Freedom gets a win that's expected, but No Tomorrow brought the fun, they brought the Probius and Nazebo, they brought some strategies. They have clearly shown that they are willing to flex into some of those strategies and pull them out at key times, but they're also willing to play what is a very stand-up straight fight here with their double reset composition. But Team Freedom shows us why that Brightwing pick has been working out for them and why they're willing to risk it here in HGC.
The risk is there. It worked against the team here in the form of No Tomorrow. It has not, however, worked out in the past when we've seen that. So obviously this is something that they feel comfortable running. It's just a matter of, can this still work when it matters? And those will be questions we'll answer down the road. But the good news is for them today, they did take the last 3 games pretty decisively, I'd say. But when we look at this team of No Tomorrow, it's game number 1. They came out heavy hitting. This is 3 times in 3 series. Their first games have all been strong. And then something after that just takes a turn. And I'm not sure what they need to do to keep up that momentum. It's like they get the win, but it's not a momentum-based win. It's not something they're gaining momentum with. And I think that's a little bit of a problem right now because they've taken 2 game number 1s, if I'm not mistaken, and they were close in a 3rd. And so they're finding ways to get in the first game, but after that, it's just been 3 victories by the other or 2 victories in that one where they just narrowly lost the first game. There's something there. The drafting obviously is a bit unique, but there's something about the momentum. It's just not clicking.
I think there is something to be said for the drafting for this team, and not necessarily because they're playing strategies that, you know, we talk a lot about it. They're working somewhere. They're working in scrims very likely, but I think it's more so trying to do too much within one series. And when you are a team that's had some role changes, when you've had some roster changes, and you're trying to work on so many things at once, I think maybe in the future, instead of trying to counter draft, instead of trying to bring in these pocket strategies, focus on one thing at a time, because there are a lot of things that they're doing really well. Maybe focus on improving their synergy and having those kind of synergistic comps if you're going to play something like a double reset composition, right? And then try to go from there with future things to work on.
Yeah, there's no shame in pretty much one-tricking certain compositions. Ishbu himself said, yeah, we pretty much ran the exact same composition every game and saw if somebody could be. That was his words yesterday, mostly verbatim, but just running the same thing. Eventually find something that works for you. Find something that's there. If you're experimenting in multiple ways, it might not always work. It might work 1 time, it might work 5 times in scrims, but is it as refined? And I think that's kind of been the problem, is finding their niche, and so far their niche is literally everything. We'll see if it narrows down.
Well, let's check in now with Lutano from Team Freedom as they get their victory 3-1 over No Tomorrow. Hey, Lutano, congratulations. Obviously, game 1 maybe not going the way you guys wanted, but then from there being able to get the win. I gotta ask, what'd you think about the Nazebo and the Probius?
We were pretty surprised. We were really confident in our answer. we had a ton of macro pressure. So with the Greymane and the Phoenix, so it was really difficult for them to really do anything after they picked
Mm-hmm.
those 2 picks because we had so much structure damage after we got the protectors. It's pretty much GG.
What do you think would have needed to have gone differently for them? Is it a matter of not being answered in the draft, or do you think something else? If they would have played it maybe a little bit differently, maybe not lost people so early on.
I mean, if they never died, and was able to safely kill the protector every time, and maybe not lose a fort or two before the second protector, they might
Yeah.
have had a chance. But it's really cheesy. They gave it a shot, but I don't think it would have worked.
Well, I want to ask you as well about a pick that you guys have brought in a couple times now, and that's the Brightwing, a favorite of mine. Tell me, if you can, a little bit about what you're looking to achieve when you draft the Brightwing.
It's pretty much just double support comp with the global. That's all it is. It gave us an answer to ETC,
Mm-hmm.
and we pretty much just pick it because it's second support with the global. It's just good macro.
All right. Well, congratulations. I'm sure I'll be talking to you here in a little bit. But Jay, do you have any questions for Lutano?
Yeah, going a little bit further down the drafting route, we saw some shifts in roles, but we've seen them back and forth. Is that been decided? Is Nasmus and Yoda, are they still switching back and forth? Because today it was all Nasmus pretty much on that side lane. How are you guys approaching that role right now?
We decided to swap back actually, with Nasmus in the off lane and Yoda playing more of the second support because the meta it's really dependent on like having a really strong like second support player and like a really good Tassadar player, and Yoda's like the best Tassadar player in NA. So we're like, okay, it makes sense to just put him on the other role for now.
A lot was made, particularly here on your hero pool in the part of Phase 1. And you and I talked at Western Clash. You said you were obviously working on some heroes, practicing a lot, preparing for that. And it's been a major point, I guess, of interest for a lot of people. How have you kind of continued to evolve? Because your play continues to take leaps and bounds here in HGC North America since you've been on Team Freedom. But how are you continuing to evolve that while also going back to the old familiar heroes like Hanzo?
I mean, originally, all I really played was auto attack heroes because I just like them. I love the play style of being in your face, just getting an auto in every like 3/4 of a second. But I've tried to like really learn mages. I like buckled down, just spammed mages all day, every day in Hero League, and it's been paying off.
Well, you guys, obviously, we're still trying to figure out where you guys lie. I know you guys want to be at the top. You had a good start to Phase 1 here. You've got a pretty decent start. Where do you see your team evolving now that we've seen the meta evolve a little bit. It's a little bit different since Midseason Brawl. How do you see this team moving forward to try and get back to that #1 spot that you guys had, potentially going into Western Clash?
We have been doing. We're just putting in a ton of work on fixing our issues. We actually brought in a new coach for this part or this phase. Levy's, he's been helping us so much. He's been putting in all the work in the world, and he's just an asset that we really needed. So I think with his help, we can get to #1.
You care to share what some of those target points might be, or is that stuff that's more internal based?
It's mostly internal. It's just working on synergy, and he really just points out what we can work on, what we can fix.
Well, it's been clear progress from my eyes, and I look forward to seeing you guys doing well in the future. Congratulations on your win today.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, Lutano, you guys' next series will be next weekend versus Endemic. What are your thoughts on that one?
Ooh, that'll be a fun matchup. We haven't really seen the best from Endemic yet. I think they kind of had a poor showing against Simplicity, or Simplicity just played out of their mind last weekend.
Yeah.
So it'll be a really interesting series for sure.
Awesome. Well, do you have anything to say to your fans? And if you have any shout-outs, now's your time.
Shout outs to Twitch chat. You guys are awesome. You guys always bring the memes. Shout outs to our sponsor, Team Freedom, HyperX. Shout out to Levies again. And yeah.
All right. Thank you. Congrats again. Meme bringing is oh so important.
I don't know if I've ever seen Lutano not smiling, by the way. He's always like this beaming. He's always smiling. Yeah. Always smiling. I like to have him on here.
Yeah, it's awesome to have him here. He's one of my favorite people to interview. He always has great, insightful comments and well-spoken.
You can have him. I'm taking Ishbu, though.
All right.
Talks for days. Still love that guy.
Maybe gives away too much stuff, but
I'm okay with that.
I know you are. It's more his team, whether they are. Well, I hope you're okay with the fact that we've got another series coming up, and it's going to be a good one. We saw Akaface take on Endemic. Now we get to see Fury and LFM take on Endemic after the break. Stay tuned for more HGC.
Grudge match.
Woo! Because of the Lutano and the inability to take that out, Yoda's been trying for it. Zugrug in danger, rooted. Ancestral does not connect, and now ETC is gone for a minute, and still the spell aura lives on, finally going underneath the core. It will stop. Akaface used Tranquility now. Jin's gonna dive in again deep underneath. Can they get this kill on Yoda? This would be everything. They root him, they kill him, they stun him, he's dead before Ancestral yet again can go off, and that's the kill No Tomorrow needs here.
That might be enough. Isolation's going to be used. This should be No Tomorrow taking this game as 3 people are now down on the side of Team Freedom. A lot of opportunities to go forward, but that is an Entomb. That is a dead Jin, and Lutano's trying to make it a dead Casanova, and Akaface on the front. Everybody's struggling here on No Tomorrow.
This is unfortunate.
It wasn't there. There's going to be Jin locked down. Tranquility's out. Iron Skin going to be used at the last minute, but they are going all in. That stun is going to be enough. They try to get the trade-off onto Nazma. Shrite might have overextended at that moment. He's going to disengage out. Thompson, he's taking the pressure now. That's another takedown. We're in overtime. 7 picked up here in time for No Tomorrow. Zebo and team, they're starting to make action happen. Zugrug getting quite a bit of damage. Healing Pulse has gone down. It's actually going to keep Zugrug alive. Thompson, however, not going to be so lucky. Lutano confirms kill number 1. Jin's going to fall and confirm kill number 2.
Now that they have those heroic abilities and No Tomorrow don't have them, we'll see if maybe Jin can get a combo or something on somebody, but the problem here is the Scrolls of Sealing every time, and now we have a Stairwell Listen, and look at the Purification Salvo bring down Probius.
Casanova wanted to get the structures taken down, unable to do so. Thompson, nice knockback, go for the throat.
The Warp Riffs are going around the conveyor belt. Like, this is a really hard thing for No Tomorrow to do. But a Jin combo takes out Johanna. That's the first of what has to be so many kills for No Tomorrow. Unfortunately, they lose their Nazebo here.
That turret is still putting out damage against No Tomorrow. Jin trying to hold on the point, getting the heals, the healing reduction coming in. There's going to be another member falling as Thompson's dead. Jin going to get a little bit of shielding, but Nazmus and team are in pursuit. Root's going to go down. It's all for naught, as that is 3, 4, and 5. It's Race City. I don't think they're going to get here. There's going to be stage dive. The stun instantly is going to meet him. Shrite does go X-Strike, and the timing on that was a little rough.
Yeah, X-Strike through what we saw with the Emerald Wind, Dragon Blade, or Dragon Arrow with the stun. Zugrug turns around, delivers another one to give yet another kill as that Scatter Arrow wrecks ETC.
And indeed, here comes the dive itself in the form of stage dive. Emerald Wind is going to keep him at bay. Casanova, the first to die. Lutano doing work. Malfurion dies on the backside of this, and now for Team Freedom, this might just be the victory march. Gilly no longer just looking to get map control, but looking to take this series victory.
Map control, game control, series control. It's all about it for Team Freedom. They did lose the one game to No Tomorrow, but otherwise looking good to finish off and close out this series.